The Delta Plus variant has been a cause of concern in the country. And to know about more on this, I'm joined by Dr. Raman Gangakhedkar, who's the former head of ICMR and currently also involved in the process of science and to do everything with COVID-19. So thank you so much for joining us. So first of all, the Delta Plus variant is a concern. How much do you see it as being more infectious than the parent variant? And are the vaccines and monoclonal antibody treatments are going to be effective against this particular strain in India?
At least there is one thing which I would say: we know Delta variant, the original Delta that we used to talk, that variant has higher transmissibility, and that variant also had three different mutations which formed the core: the L452R, then we had E484Q, and we also had P681R. Now, these three mutations were very much important. Now, there is one more additional mutation, which is called as K417N, which was also observed in a South African variant earlier. That has also been added in Delta Plus variant. All of us know that in South Africa, they found that this particular variant, 417 variant, was also part of the variant of P1, that is the Brazilian variant, which was able to evade the vaccine induced immune response. So there is a worry that is associated with it. To my mind, how big is the worry, we have no idea, because those three by itself, which were part of the Delta variant, they themselves have sufficient evidence to increase transmission efficiency. And what was worse was the last one, the 681 mutation, that is associated with syncytia formation. Now, if it forms syncytia, its location of this particular mutation is close to furin cleavage site. You will find that there is a cell to cell transfer which has been reported by Japanese scientists with respect to this mutation. Now, cell to cell transmission is something which is far different, which we have not seen so far in other variants that have come up. And therefore, there is a fear that this may not only evade the monoclonal antibody response more efficiently, perhaps also ensure that different organs, wherever it goes, it may be able to go by syncytia formation into other cells and linger there to produce more organ damages. So that's an issue which has been flagged off. We don't know whether there is a additional weightage that is coming because of 417 variant per se. We may have to wait for further evidences to come up, but we have to consider both the Delta and Delta Plus, that is AY1, and that is Delta Plus, and AY2 as both the variants which are of variants of concern.
So at this point, the question also is, it's evading monoclonal antibodies, say some studies, but how far could it evade the vaccines that are currently in the world and in India?
See, though there are certain reports which initially talked of reduction in the efficacy of the vaccine against this Delta variant. However, if you look at the data that is emerging from vaccine rollout participants from UK, where they did an observational study, they found that whether it is AstraZeneca or even Pfizer, they retain their ability to stop these mutants still, despite the fact that small amounts may have been dropped to some extent. So we may have to still continue to look for such a data, whether it reduces vaccine efficacy. But there is one good thing that we have to remember. So far, whatever variants are coming up, their escape mutants are still amenable to vaccines, even if the vaccine loses its efficacy to a small degree. This becomes important because it is essentially going to tell us one thing, that vaccines were preventing emergence of severe COVID disease or death as an outcome, Now, if that was being efficiently stopped, loss of efficacy perhaps is reflected more as more of asymptomatic infections or mild infections on exposure even after taking vaccine or natural infection. We must also keep at the back of mind that that fear has still not been seen as much. The fear related to whether there will be more reinfections or breakthrough infections because they able to challenge the vaccine or natural infection induced immunity, you still find that global data tends to speak about very small proportion of people going for reinfection, that's close to about 0.4%. Breakthrough infections, their numbers continue to remain smaller. Now, even if you look at the US data, they are talking in terms of 10,000 odd people who had breakthrough infections when they have rolled out in very large numbers which would run into crores, no? So it is essentially a smaller phenomena. So the end result is we have to take one message back home that whichever vaccine we are getting, please take the vaccine, whether there is a variant or there is no variant, whether you are vaccinated, whether you are not vaccinated, please adhere to COVID appropriate behavior. COVID appropriate behavior per se can reduce the risk of acquisition of infection by almost 85%. So even if there is a small decline that you might see because of variants itself, in terms of losing efficacy, you would still make it up with the COVID appropriate behavior. So we should not worry at this juncture, just worry enough to ensure that you will follow the COVID appropriate behavior and take vaccines.
But would you say that the current Delta Plus variant is also being able to break through the antibodies that have been created by past infections or from natural infection, where a lot of people were infected?
No, see, our these particular antibodies which we have approved as of now, they were used more in US, and they were used not against Delta variant but other variants so far. They were losing efficacy in that part of the world. When it comes to UK also had similar issues with it, but it is well known that they lose small, they may lose the efficacy by a small degree. But how much of loss would be there in terms of efficacy? We still don't have hard data with Delta variant at this juncture. It is still possible that whatever the remaining efficacy that people are talking about would be lost, no, due to these Delta variant, perhaps would be made up in human studies. Because when you do these studies, when you do PRNTs in the laboratories and try to find out how much is the loss of efficacy by the titers of antibodies, you will always find that the similar effect is not seen in human beings. Because if it reduces by half, would this mean that there would be a similar effect that you will see in human being? Perhaps not. No, so we need to take this with a pinch of salt. They are pointers towards the fact that they may lose efficacy, but by how much will be determined more often, or how significantly it will be dropped will be seen more in human studies per se. And that's why I say low number of breakthrough infections and low number of reinfections natural infection induced immunity or vaccine induced immunity continues to be strong enough.